All right, so you guys, last time you guys traveled from the keep, uh, basically wrapped up after the fight that you had taken and defeated Davin and captured him. There's a note there. All right. You checked in with the villagers, saw that they were for the most part okay, but that they had wreaked havoc on the attacking children. You returned to the keep, were not able to find Lord Valorum or Rogar, but going up the stairs, you found signs of devastation and crisped bodies. Rogar was not there. You found the chest where Rogar had hid the shield and greaves open, the source of a blast, and empty. Mabina went downstairs, asking one of the unseen servants, and it guided you down into the crypts and catacombs until you found yourself inside a large tomb of sorts, in which you found 3 sarcophagi, and leaning on one of them you saw a very gaunt and haggard-looking Kadeen Valorum, who informed you you should not be in here, and you ran away. The rest of you, after searching Rogar's room, kind of came back downstairs just as Mabina came out. Your notes are not correct. Anyway, just as Mabina came out, Rogar appeared, asking you guys where Lord Valorum was. You guys asked him if he had the items, and he said, sure, why would I lose those? And he showed the 2 of them, indicating that he had never left them off his person. But then he went down into the catacombs looking for Lord Valorum. 2 of them returned right about then. Seemed to indicate that they wanted the boots and the maul from you. So Quinlan and Lucan ran away using Windwalk, I believe is what it is, the spell, and flew all the way to Silvery Moon. The rest of you put some distance between you and the castle. Rested, a bear appeared and sniffed about your camp, and eventually you guys teleported the rest of the way to Silvery Moon. Lucan, you had a very strange, vivid dream involving you and Lord Valorum, who showed you images of what appeared to be the original destruction of his plane and that of the children of Serathia. And he did fully admit to being a vampire during this dream. You gave the boots to Bethany, who said she would store them with the Harpers, and you kept them all. And you guys returned to the Blue House to rest, at which point all of you were summoned outside, and the fiendish patron of Mabina was waiting for you there, and asked that all of you complete a task for them in exchange for things that all of you might want. And the task was simple: to go to Port Last on the Sword Coast, convince an individual named Ariana to sell her soul to them. At which point he told you all that he would be offering, they would be offering there it is, moved it a bit. To Mabina, the precise and exact location of Sazia, as well as how to get her back. Dadark, the identity of your mother. Quinlan, the real reason why your druidic order was attacked. Bethany, a Kanaith mandolin. And Lucan, the perfect thing to win over the woman of your dreams. And then they disappeared. And you guys took a few days of downtime. Apparently, everyone was up to a whole bunch of stuff. Lucan, all kinds of romantic, spending times with friends, collecting winged boots. Bethany and Lucan traveled to Davin and interrogated him on behalf of the Knights of Silver, learning quite a bit that I'm sure they will detail to the rest of you later. Doing some other shopping, a few other things. Bethany did a fair bit of research in the halls of the college there. Dadark spoke with some of the members of your order and learned a few things, not terribly helpful, unfortunately. Mabina, Bethany approached you with the intent of reviewing your contract. However, you don't have a physical copy of your contract, and your only exchange was verbal. Made a verbal contract with the fiend. And Quinlan, you went partying with everyone else, blacked out, woke up with a shaved head and an electric blue dragon tattoo, and 500 fewer gold pieces. So that's pretty much where we'll pick off. So it is now it is the fourth day, I guess the fifth that Quinlan and Lucan have been in Silvery Moon, and you guys are in the Blue House. What would you guys like to do?
Question before we say what we're going to do about my attempts at researching the connection between the Knaves and Shadowfell. You said in the text a few minutes ago that the Knaves don't go to Shadowfell, but they get gifts on occasion.
Right.
From that, am I to understand that Zilvire was not a recent emigre from the Shadowfell, but has been in the plains for a while, and that nobody from the Knaves went to, or that the gnomes who made Zilvire, the blade, didn't get the material from the Shadowfell any time recently, and that the exchange between whatever went into the material components of Zilvire didn't involve the Knaves directly.
Probably would have been about 10 years ago that they got the items to make your weapon. They don't go to the Shadowfell. The Shadar-kai, on behalf of the Raven Queen, come from the Shadowfell and give them the items.
Okay.
I also, because I don't know if this was shared about the gate spell, that when Bethany was researching, she apparently discovered that a way to get Sazia from the plane of death was the gate spell, and she thinks Rogar might be able to cast it. So she probably would have asked the group if they're willing to trade the helm for Sazia.
Sure am.
And then she would contact Rogar, telling him to prepare the gate spell, as they have kindly asking him to prepare the gate spells. They have a proposition for him involving the helm, and they might be stopping by the keep.
All right. Well, he would have acknowledged your request and said he would think about it.
So how did Lucan's dinner date go?
Very well.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, and Mabina, we really should sit down and get your contract in writing. Verbal contracts, they're just, they're made in quicksand, and he seems like a liar, and I just don't feel safe for you.
Oh yeah, no, me neither. You're right.
I thought that for devils that contracts were a force of nature, that they reality is bound up in contracts and agreements and bargains made with devils and demons.
So for the knowledge of the players, Lucan wouldn't share this with your characters, but just so you know, what happened to the hammer is it got put into an animantite box. That animantite box was both locked physically and with an arcane lock. The box was placed inside the portal. The portal was filled with dirt all the way up, so it has about 300 cubic feet of dirt, give or take. Folded up. That folded up portal was then put into a cheap looking lockbox with a false floor, and in the compartment that actually you open up and access it, it has a bunch of cheap costume jewelry in it. That lockbox was then locked. Emerald was summoned. Lucan gave Emerald the lockbox and said, "Guard this with your life." Gave it to him, gave him an apple, and sent him back to the Feywild. And if anyone asks Lucan where the hammer is, he just says, "It's not in my boot," and he winks at you.
Cool.
And then for the DM to know, anytime I'm around Rogar, I just think incredibly cardinal thoughts, like actively focusing on that. That's all I think about.
All right. So what would you guys like to do now?
So we should go to Lord Valorum's keep and negotiate these terms with Rogar to see if we can get Sazia back from the plane of death using the gate spell. And then after that, we could head to Port Last, but on the way to Port Last, we could stop by the city of Tribor, see how they're doing. And Quinlan, aren't your friends still there?
In Tribor?
Yeah.
Yep. As far as I know.
Bethany, could you try and reach out to them, see if they're still there?
Sure. It was Hobbs, right? Hobbs was the one that was in Tribor?
Yep. Hob.
Okay, so Bethany will send a message to Hobbs saying, "Hey, we're thinking about coming to Tribor. You guys still there? How you doing?"
All right. So just so we're the three halflings that you know are Mungo, Mary, and Verna.
Oh,
Which was the one that was originally squatting in the hotel?
yeah.
Right? I thought that
I
was...
paid his in fee.
That must have been Mungo.
Sorry, just
The one who lost the leg.
correction. It was Hob Shortwick. That's right.
So
Yes.
Hobbs was the one that was
Well,
originally.
his name is Hob.
Hobbs, sorry.
H-O-B.
Hob. Hob was the one that's sitting in Tribor originally.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the two we rescued, we gave them some money and sent them up north to Tribor.
Believe.
I think only one of them lived.
Yeah.
But I
Really?
do think, I think we only managed to save the one. The other two were dead in the cage when we found them. That's why Quinlan went all crazy and murder. But I think we did send him. I don't remember which one it was though that we sent back. Which one actually
That
lived? I don't
sucks.
remember.
I thought we saved two.
Uh,
I believe Mungo lived. I don't know if Verna did. I thought Mary died.
yeah. Sorry, I gotta find my. going back quite far in time. Yeah, Verna is the only one that survived.
So Hob and Verna.
Correct.
All right. Yeah, I think she would have. Okay, let me see. So, hey, we're thinking about going to Triborb. Did Verna make it to you? How are you doing? Are you still there? Do you need help? That's the message.
All right, we're still here, picking up work. She came here some weeks ago. How are you?
So, Verna made it there. Hob said they're picking up some work. They're good. He asked how we are. What do you want to say, Quinlan?
Oh, we're dandy. I got a tattoo on my head.
Are we gonna go visit them? Do you want to visit them? We can totally visit them.
Yeah, we should go visit. Can let them know that the Hammer of Justice has been dealt with. Though there's more to the plot.
Cool. Okay. We're good. Quinlan got a tattoo. We're gonna come see you. We got Davin and the hammer. But there's more. We'll tell you in person.
Ah, can't wait to see you. Good job. Very proud.
All right. Well, it was evening, right?
Right now?
Yeah.
It's the morning.
Oh, morning.
Yeah.
Well, should we say our goodbyes and head to Lord Valorum's keep?
Yeah. I mean, Rogar said he would think about preparing the gate spell. I told him we'd probably drop by.
I'll leave the negotiation up to you all.
I mean, I feel like we should get Sazia up front, right? Like, we are going into this really dangerous place. So I talked to Victoria's Leap about portals or gateways into the Shadowfell, and they said Rogar always helps them with that stuff. So, we can talk to him about that, but he's really powerful. He might be able to just send us to the Shadowfell. That's possible. So, we should definitely get a lot of gold. Maybe like, a round trip into the Shadowfell. And a gate spell up front to bring Sazia. And Sazia might be good for them too. Like, Sazia can tell them the stuff she knows, and like, it might be good. And that way, like, they'll have Sazia, and Mabina there. If they do try to hold her hostage, we'll get her back. But it's, we'll let her stay at the keep, so that way they know that we'll come back for her. And if they hurt her, I will murder him. Okay, like, they won't hurt her, but they can talk to her.
He's generally pretty good about guests, so I don't think she's going to be in danger from them. However, perhaps we should send a sending to her and tell her what's up.
I might have already done that. And she said that she is still alive and is very scared.
Okay, cool.
Also, we have reason to believe that Tasso Icena is in the plane of death, so the opportunity to go into her mind and see if she might have learned something from her time there.
Who is this?
So Tasso Asina is the children, the devil, the leader of the children, the
Demon.
warrior, the guy who had all the artifacts that we're trying to hunt down. So he
Right,
was. Sorry, go ahead.
He's the demon of Cerathia, and the one who who the children intend to resurrect by reuniting all of the Eagle's Garb.
Ew. Okay.
So if they're on the same plane, maybe she might have some information. I was trying to find a link, but I just nothing came up. Like I thought maybe she was like some distant relative, but that was stupid. It's no. So I don't know how she got there, but we'll figure it out. We're gonna go to Luskin, and we'll deal with that. But if we can get her safe first, and they can talk to her and make sure she what she knows and keep her safe here, then I would feel a lot better.
Okay, me too. Let's do this.
All right, so you guys saying your goodbyes and then teleporting to the keep?
Yep, using teleportation circle.
All right. So you say goodbye to your friends, comrades in the Blue House and in the city of Silvery Moon before heading over to the college and using the teleportation circle and sitting yourself flying across space to the Great Hall of Caer Argued. So when you get there, what you find is it has been cleaned up. As far as you can tell, there's almost no sign that there were ever any dirty villagers or blood or anything like that in the hall itself. It looks pretty much spick and span. The curtains are drawn shut just as they were before. And you hear a very silent, kind of echoey chamber. What would you guys like to do?
Do you want to go up to Rogar's tower, maybe?
Sure.
Ask the unseen servants to take us there.
Okay. So, as you request their assistance, you all feel yourselves kind of lightly pushed in the direction of the keep, kind of up the stairs to the top, and you find the door shut. And the servants disappear.
Knock on the door.
Come in, come in!
Okay, just kind of slowly open it and kind of push it forward.
All right. You find yourselves within Rogar's keep. It has been cleaned. It still looks kind of... It's almost been restored to how it was before the destruction was wrought on it previously. It's... bits of wood and other things remain, but for the most part, all the books have been swept back onto their shelves, and the tables look similarly... messy as they were before. In the far corner, you see Rogar kind of picking through some things, rummaging through a desk, and he kind of turns around you. And on the desk next to him, you see the little silver-eyed bat that kind of blinks its eyes out of sequence at you, and as he's kind of picking through the book. Friends, what can I do for you? You said you wanted me to cast the gate spell. In exchange for what?
Well, we might have a lead on where the helm is, and we are prepared to go and get the helm and bring it back here to you. Obviously, we would want you to cover transportation and expenses and other incidentals, but on top of that, we would very much appreciate if you could help us out in retrieving a friend of ours who happens to be on the plane of death.
Make a persuasion check. I'm afraid I don't think I am able to make with these dispensations and incidentals that you require. However, I can bring your friend back, I suppose. It is not terribly difficult. You have a diamond available, do you? Requires a 5,000 gold piece per day diamond.
I have a couple of 1,000 gold diamonds, but not a 5,000. You don't have a 5,000 on you? That seems really weird for a powerful wizard.
No, I do. I just wanted to see if you had one. And he kind of pulls one out of his robes. Very well. Now, you just, to be clear, only want me to recover this individual from the plane of death?
Yes, so she happens to be a friend of ours, and she, had some unfortunate run in with slavery. We'll go in and take care of the people who put her into slavery, but she, we're not quite sure how it happened, but she ended up on the plane of death. Nor do we really understand why. However, we, would like to save her because she's our friend, and that's why we're asking you to help us. Because that's what you do for friends.
Alright, I understand. No need to pull at my heartstrings or whatever. Good thing that you weren't trying to go there. A terribly dangerous place. I don't know how much you know about it, but going there has some negative effects on the place you came from. Anyway, let me pull this out. And he produces his tome. Let's just see. Yeah, kind of holding up the diamond in front of him, he kind of starts reading words from it, casting the spell, and after just a brief kind of tracing the hand in his air, tracing his hand in the air, you see this like portal, this like black kind of oval disc appear almost in the center of the room. It's horizontal, and there is this like sucking whoosh through the portal towards the rest of you, kind of blowing wind towards all of you. It smells of death, obviously. And it's cold and very dreadful. And you see this like black mist and shadow kind of start to billow out of it. And it starts to kind of flow into the room. And everyone go ahead and roll for initiative.
But I lightning breath, so it's okay.
I have a 3.
Alright, so as all of you are standing there, kind of in the room, you suddenly see the mist that had been sucked into the room onto the floor starts to coalesce into shapes. And Dadark, it is your turn.
Right. I call Zilvar into my hand as my action and cast Hexblade's Curse on the nearest shade.
Alright.
And I'll move up to interpose myself between the others.
All right. The wraith, as it like forms, reaches out towards you and attempts to suck the life from you. So go ahead. Actually, no, never mind. It is a melee weapon attack. The other one. It's going to move there. And it is going to attack you, Data. Does connect, so go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
Dadark will get a +5 to his saving throw. And
Alright.
did his roll 20 sheet update to reflect his 20 AC?
Yes, it rolled a 21. Well, technically, actually, it has advantage, so it'd be a 24. But it wasn't that crit. But go ahead and give me your con save. Alright. So you take 21 necrotic damage, and your hit points maximum is reduced by 10. As it sucks the life into you, out of you and into the wraith.
So 21 necrotic, you said, and HP down by 10. So I will use Uncanny Dodge to have that. Does that have the effect on the HP total?
It's equal to the damage taken, so yes, I think it would reduce your HP total loss. Alright. Two blue, kind of ethereal creatures pass through it. One of them appears to be a man, and the other one a woman. The two ghosts also into the room. The woman locks eyes with you, Mabina, and in this like harsh, screeching tone, "You did this to me!" And it flies towards you.
Oh, I don't like that. It's so spoopy.
And Mabina, make a charisma saving throw.
Good thing you got that.
She gains a +5 as well.
Alright. Well, the ghost passes into you almost, and you feel it attempting to, like, mesh with you and control your body, but you're able to, like, wrench yourself free, and it kind of floats in front of you. And you see that the woman has a very familiar face.
Sazia?
And Lucan, actually no. Put it right there. Alright. The ghost passes through you, Dadark, and you feel this chill cold, but you're able to prevent yourself from being affected by it too much. Lucan, it is your turn.
Does that ghost look like Sazia to me?
Yes. All of you recognize, as well as you can, that the ghost of the woman appears to be Sazia.
Sazia, I'm so sorry. And I'll summon my spiritual guardians.
Bethany, it's your turn.
All right. Bethany's gonna move over to Mabina and just be like, "We don't need you fireballing the room now," and just kind of touch her on the shoulder and cast protection from good and evil.
All right. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I don't want to walk out of this guy's melee range. Actually, I'll give Lucan a bardic inspiration just because he might need it,
Okay.
and then that's the end of my turn.
All right. Well, more clouds of mist pour forth from the portal and float towards the rest of you.
So when they enter the area, they would need to make a wisdom save against my spiritual guardians.
All right.
DC 17.
Yeah, they do seem affected by it, but they continue to pour forth. All right. Well, Daydark, just so you're aware, one of them is on top of you, and the other one is on top of Lucan. And both of you need to make con saves. All right. So, unfortunately, Lucan, you would fail.
May I use Bethany's bardic inspiration?
You can
For D10?
certainly try. Unfortunately, not quite enough to succeed. And you take. Ooh, that's a bad. That's a spooky roll. You take 15 necrotic damage.
That time I rolled well, at least.
All right. Daydark, you feel this mist like around you, attempting to suck the blood right from your veins, but it has no effect as you are able to kind of wave it off or whatever you do to the mist. Quinlan, it's your turn.
Which one's Sazia?
That one.
Cast a moonbeam of Mystic at random.
All right. All right. Mabina, it is your turn. Oh, that's unless you want to do anything else, Quinlan, just to be clear.
Did that hurt him at all?
When he starts his turn, he makes a save.
Yeah. If that is the end of your turn, then Mabina, it is yours.
For my use, I'm going to cast Magic Circle.
It takes a minute to cast that spell, by the way.
Okay.
So it would take you 10 turns.
10 turns.
Yeah.
What? I don't think it took that one last time.
You can do that if you would like. It's going to take you 10 whole turns, and that's all you could do.
Right. Poison spray. Would you look at dude in front of me?
At the Wraith?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. The poison seems to spray harmlessly through the Wraith. As it whirls back around towards you and focuses its eyes on you. Would you like to do anything else on your turn? Bushy is behind you like, oh my god, what is going on right now?
Take cover now, Bushy.
Alright, Bushy's just hanging off your shoulder like, looking all this. Close it! Close the gate! And with that, Rogar ends the gate spell. The air that was being sucked through it kind of goes still. And you guys are only facing the 6 ethereal beings in front of you. He's gonna cast. He's gonna cast Protection from Good and Evil on himself. Alright. Dadark, it's your turn.
I'm going to cast Summon Shadow Spirit and call forth a shadowy spirit from the Shadowfell.
Okay.
Let's see, and I think it gets its own initiative.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so all of you watch as Dadark casts its spell in front of you, and this like dark spirit pours out of the air behind the Wraith, eyes red and angry. Well, the Wraith is going to attempt to life drain you again, Dadark.
Do note they need to make a 17 wisdom save or take 18 damage.
What kind of damage?
Radiant.
And it's half on the save.
Correct.
Alright. Whoa. Yikes. Nat 20, unfortunately, against you, Dadark. That is 38 necrotic damage. Go ahead and give me a con save. So you do succeed. All right. But you do feel the life sucked right out of your body. The other one is also going to...
How many points was that again?
You don't lose anything. You succeeded on the save.
Ah.
Because you have a +5 from Lucan. All right. Unfortunately, the other one did roll also a 20. You take another 22 necrotic damage, and go ahead and give me another con save. And you do need, on that 38, you do need to make a, I believe, a DC 16 concentration check for your spirit.
Remind me, concentration.
It's a Constitution save, but I believe it's half. It's either 10 or half the damage, whichever is higher, and it was 38. So
Right.
it would actually be 19.
I have my reaction back, so I'll use Uncanny Dodge.
Okay. So it would be 19.
And so that would be a 10.
It would be an 8. Well, you would take 19 damage, and the con save is 10.
Right.
So with the bonus, it looks like he would make them.
Well, he needs to make another one for the 22 damage he just took, which is an 11. That first con save, which...
So there were two attacks on me, yes?
The first con save you did, that was to not have your hit points reduced by the maximum, which you succeeded. The second one was to not have your hit points reduced by the maximum, which you failed, so your hit point maximum is going to be reduced by 22. And so between the two attacks, you're taking a total of 41 damage. Or correction, yeah, 41 damage. Yep. Which is 19 plus 22. And then you need to give me one more con save for the second attack to not lose concentration. Alright, so you maintain concentration. You watch as both of the ghosts are seared by the radiant energy from Lucan's spirit guardians. You watch as Sazia's form starts to disappear. However... Okay. She's going to move right there. And she's going to... Alright. She is going to attempt to grab you, Mabina. And she does have disadvantage on the roll. Unfortunately, she rolled a 17. So you do take 18 necrotic damage as she grasps you and begins melting your life away. You did this to me! Her eyes burn with hate. And the other one...
I feel like it'd be more.
The other one's going to attempt to grab Dadark, but it misses. And Lucan, it's your turn.
Alright. I attack the Wraith that I'm flanking with Mabina twice.
All right, those both hit.
And I drop 2 level 2 smites on both hits. So an additional 12 and 16.
All right, you cleave through the wraith. However, it is still standing. Oh, actually, nope, no, it's still standing.
And that's my spiritual guardians for the next round when they go through.
Okay.
And that's the end of my turn.
Bethany, it's your turn.
So, would Bethany know whether or not a wraith is deafened, whether or not it could hear her?
Probably not. You probably have never seen a wraith before.
Alright, well, she'll experiment. She's gonna cast Dissonant Whispers on the wraith that everyone surrounded, and nearly the one that Lucan nearly killed.
Alright.
So it automatically succeeds if it's deafened.
Okay. Well, it does seem to be able to hear, and it looks at you, but it looks back at kind of over its shoulder. It's starting to like melt away almost. It's barely like wisps of cloud held together at this point.
So it doesn't run away?
It does not.
Damn. Okay. Then she's also going to give a bardic inspiration to Daydark to help him out on his saves since he's getting kind of murdered. So Daydark, you have a D10 that you can roll whenever you're trying to roll a D20 or to add to damage if you want.
Thank you.
Spell damage.
And then Bethany's just going to stay right where she is.
All right. All right. Daydark and Lucan, go give me con saves. Alright. The two of you feel the mist attempt to siphon the life from your veins, but to no effect.
All right, and then they make the wisdom save or take 11.
Yeah, they did it. Alright, Daydark, it is your shadow spirit's turn.
The shadow spirit will do a chilling rend against the wraith box between him and it and Daydark. And that is its thing.
What level are you casting that at?
Well, my spells are cast at level 3.
Okay, so you would be... It would be a +6. And then the damage is 2d8 +6.
Right, that's
Gotcha.
included.
It just looks weird. All right. The cold energy passes through. You can make more than one attack. You know that, right?
Uh,
Oh no, sorry, you're right. Rounded down, so you'd only make one. Got it. I was wrong. So you do notice the cold energy passes through the wraith, but it doesn't have very much of an effect on it. Gwilyn, it's your turn, and you are still dropping the moonbeam on the wraith.
Did that Wraith take the damage from the moonbeam last
He did.
time?
It was 2.
So, breaking the concentration on the moonbeam, I am going to occupy the same space as Beth, and I will cast Sunbeam. Shape. So it's gonna be it's a 5-foot wide ray of sunlight from my hand,
Okay.
6 feet long. I would like it.
All right.
Before I cast it, I'd like to yell, "Be gone, demons!"
All right. Well, your blast of sunlight passes through the 2 wraiths and a vampiric mist. The first wraith and the mist are completely vaporized as the light passes through them and just vanish. The other one is still standing, but quite singed. Pretty good spell use. Like,
Might actually.
all right. Mabina, it's your turn.
Talk to Sazia. There's no way I could have known this would have happened. What can I do? How do I help you?
Make a persuasion check. All right. The ghost seems to kind of float there in front of you, like recoiling back as she. You were the one who turned me in. You didn't save me.
been trying to save you this entire time.
But she does seem to kind of back up and not attempt to kill you.
I'm gonna deal with the devil to help you.
Alright. Alright. You know, Rokar doesn't have any super good spells for this, so I'm just gonna say he just sort of shuffles over into the corner and flips through his book. Daydark, it's your turn.
I will attack the hexed wraith standing in front of me.
Alright.
And if it seems to be still somewhat corporeal, whatever wraiths do. I will
Actually,
strike
as
it
your
again.
sword passes through it, it kind of lets out a chill scream and then vanishes into the air.
For my second attack, I will turn and strike the wraith next to, or the ghost rather, next to Lucan.
Alright.
All right. And
Yeah, unfortunately that does not hit.
Did you get the hit points for killing your hex target?
Alright. It is
all right, I get that confused with hex.
not the Wraith's turn, they are all gone. That is the Ghost's turn.
Alright. Save or 11 damage.
You watch as both of the ghosts kind of are rended slightly by your spiritual guardians, and the look on Sazia's face sours once again. Lucan, it's your
Alright, I'll flank with Daydark with this ghost next to me.
Nice.
And I'll swing at the ghost twice.
Alright, all those hit.
On the second one, I'll drop a first level Divine Smite.
Okay. And the ghost disappears.
Sazia, you need to surrender, or we'll have no choice.
All right. Bethany, it's your turn.
Okay, Sazia, look. I can't help you now. Like, I got you away from the bad place, right? Look, Rogar over here. Look, and she like points to Rogar. He cast the gate that got you here, and he cast it as a favor to us, right? Like, I've been talking to you, and we promised him we would go get a helm in the Shadowfell to bring you here, and we did that because we care about you, and we might be able to help you not be a ghost, but I can't do it right now, and I probably can never do it, but I might know someone who can. There's this magic, I've heard of it, that can bring someone back even if they're undead, but it's really hard and it's going to take some time. But if you promise to not kill anyone, you can hang out here and maybe we can help you. But it's going to take time, but we can do it. We got you here, so you know that we won't give up.
Make a persuasion check with advantage. Alright. She kind of, as close as she could, kind of like falls to her knees, kind of floating down to the floor, and begins to like cry softly into the carpet, her tears kind of passing through the floor. You didn't save me fast enough. Alright. Vampiric Mist is going to float over to Mabina.
Alright, save our 12 damage.
Yes, I did it. Leave it. Yeah. Mabina, make a Constitution saving throw. You take 8 necrotic damage as the mist sucks the life from you. And alright. Derek, it is your Shadow Spirit's turn.
I will command the Shadow Spirit to move over and strike the vampiric mist hovering over Mabina. And it will do a chilling rend upon the mist. Which I believe is a crit.
Yeah. So for 24 damage. The mist is still standing. Quinlan, it's your turn. Alright, it's standing. It's floating there next to Quinlan and like around Mabina.
Well, my sunbeam would have dissipated by now.
That is technically a concentration spell, so you can use it every round for a minute.
Well, it's up to a minute. And each turn is like 6 seconds, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll go. Already. sense.
Oh, I forgot. All right. Well, next time I didn't know how Sunbeam worked. I just looked at Daydark. You would have also had to make a con save because he just shot it right through you. Anyway.
Stop it, right?
What?
The mist on Menina, right?
Yeah, the mist is on Mabina.
I'll do.
And I'll take that Bardic Inspiration to boost the con save.
You would have passed without it. You would have had the +5 from Lucan earlier. But you still would have taken 15 radiant damage.
7, because he was next to me.
Move away. Does the mist get a attack of opportunity since I'm like pretty close? Or is
The
it
mist.
not
I mean, if you move away from the mist, if you move away from a creature, typically it does, but the mist doesn't really work like that.
All right. Well, I'd like to back up a bit. Oh, fuck! I forgot Beth was right there. Trying to minimize the people I fuck up. A lot of my stuff is like just comes out from you. Everyone near you gets hurt.
Yeah, that's why I was having trouble picking spells that Rogar would use, because everything would just really fuck everyone up.
You're holding on to some dark anger, Quinlan. Just let it go.
The laser must be released.
Charge up your lasers.
I'll just do produce flame on the mist, I guess.
Whoa.
Well, I did my worst. Thanks. Gotta love cantrips.
Alright, you toss a little ball of fire and it just burns off. You get this smell of like burning blood almost in the air.
Damn, Gwendolyn.
Just flick a little flame in her direction. Body.
Do I take any damage? Or...
No, you're fine. You don't take anything. Alright, you guys are out of initiative.
I thought Sazia still wanted to kill us.
No, I believe the last thing that happened was Bethany talked her down.
Yeah, I thought she was persuaded by my "we can help you, we want to help you, we care about you," and then she's now on her knees crying on the ground.
Try to tell her how very sorry I am.
I'm going to move the shadow spirit around to the other side of Stasia just to keep her in line.
Bethany's gonna.
She vanishes.
Oh wow.
Divine sense. Is she still within 60 feet?
I don't think Divine Sense would be able to detect her.
Yeah,
She has
the
total cover.
shadow might be throwing off your detections.
Yes, you would know that there is a shadow directly in front of you that is supremely undead. But other than that,
Decidedly evil.
yeah, you don't get any other senses in this room.
So she just like disappeared?
You kind of saw her just sort of evaporate.
Did she look at peace, or
No, she was. As you moved the shadow behind her, she kind of just moved away, I guess.
Do we have any way to know whether she got sucked back to the Death Realm or still on this plane?
Actually, no, never mind. Sorry, I was wrong. You would be able to see her still. Yeah.
Wait, so is she
She's still there. Sorry, she's still there. But your Divine Sense would not be able to detect her.
so did she like shift into the ethereal plane or something?
Yes, she's on the ethereal plane now.
So Lucan can detect her, but she's on the ethereal, so we can't see her unless we can see
No,
into
you
the
can
I'll do
see
the
her.
opposite.
Yeah, you can see her. He cannot detect her.
Well, that's progress, I guess. She's not on the plane of death. Can anybody step into the ethereal and sort of help her diss whatever it is she is?
Can
No.
we go ahead?
It's gonna take a lot of time to do what Bethany was talking about.
Yeah, so I've heard of it. I don't think I can ever do it, but I know it's a thing where it's super powerful. It's called like true resurrection, and you can bring somebody back, even if they're undead, as long as they didn't die of old age, back as long as they died within like 200 years, and they're back, like they're restored, and they're who they were before. But it's really powerful, and I think it takes like somebody who's like really friendly with a god or nature. But we can find someone. We can.
Quinlan's good with nature, aren't you?
I mean, I don't know if Quinlan can do it now, but he might be able to. Like we can maybe like you know help him get better at nature, and he can then do it.
And so is Stasia likely to remain on the ethereal? Hey, Stasia! You're not going to go back to the plane of death, are you?
I remember you. You're one of the ones who took me to those foul people.
Wasn't me.
Oh, I remember you.
Nope. That's not what I do.
Sazia, he's gonna help us take vengeance on Souljack. We're heading to Luskin, and we're gonna take out Captain Dampier.
She just kind of glares at Daydark.
Just a soldier, just following orders.
Yikes.
Lots of people have just been following orders, but that's beyond the point. Sazia, do you promise to not try and possess anyone and, well, for all intents and purposes, be good while we try and help you?
I will remain here.
Maybe tell our Dragonborn friend over there everything you know about the plane of death. We think there's someone very powerful trapped on that plane, and we need help in order to kill him.
There were many creatures on that plane, all of them evil and dead.
Yeah, this one's real evil. He had, well, long time ago, he had a bunch of artifacts, and he, was kind of a warmonger. And um, there's a group of cultists who want to bring him back, and they have some pretty nasty plans. And we, in general, think it's a good idea to get rid of him, but it's kind of like a side thing we're trying to do to make sure that that he doesn't come back and they don't get all the artifacts. Have you heard anything about artifacts while you were there? Or maybe like a Serathia? Did you hear about that?
No one talks there. It's cold and empty, and I stayed away from the other creatures.
So like no hanging out at the buffet line or maybe craps table or something.
She kind of sticks her nose up at you and ignores your comment.
I'm thinking of a cruise ship.
Rogar, would you be willing to watch over our friend and see if there's any information that she knows that might help us find Tasso Icena? And we'll get you to Helm.
I can certainly ask. Would you like me to send you to the Shadowfell now?
We have some business we need to take care of in Luskan, and then we'll be right back.
Very well.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to get some restoration done because I'm like really hurting right now.
Yes, we'll probably need to stay here for the night before we leave.
Very well. I'm sure our lord will want to speak with you at dinner.
Yeah, I've always wanted to talk to him more about his relationship with Testo Asina. He's just really sketchy, and I feel like maybe we should just have a more open conversation with him.
You could always try. These sorts of things have never really come up for us in our time together. Didn't really seem pertinent at the time.
Yes, speaking of which, your time together, if I understood him right, he said it was 200 years.
Roughly. Something like that. Time flies, eventually.
You guys don't chat, talk about your backgrounds or anything?
Not really. I showed up here one day, and he was a friendly enough fellow, and I didn't really seem to discount him for his background, and he didn't ask any questions about mine, so I stuck around.
I mean, that's kind of weird, right? Like, you just randomly showed up at some guy's keep and...
Well, that's somewhat glossing over it. I had a purpose here, and somewhat sort of changed.
I would love to hear about it. I'm a very good listener.
That's all right. I think I'll keep it to myself. Maybe another time.
Over dinner?
Sure. I get the feeling I'll never hear the end of it if I don't.
Well, sometimes it's just really good to have open and honest conversations with your friends.
I understand you and the Lord are very powerful. However, for us people who don't have as much power, knowing the people that you're working with kind of helps build those bridges of trust and makes us feel more comfortable in trusting all these powerful artifacts to you. That you're not just going to use them to destroy the world.
Sure.
You aren't going to use them to destroy the world, right?
Probably not.
Refresh my memory. What are you going to do with them if you assemble all of the Eagle's garb?
Hopefully destroy them. Most artifacts of their nature can only be destroyed when their original owner or crafter has perished, and we can assume that the original crafters are long gone, so the owner, as it stands, is the demon.
So if the demon is on the plane of death, does that count as dead?
Afraid not. Usually it means soul passed on, that sort of thing. It's likely, given our friend here, and he kind of gestures at the Sazia, it's likely that he is a ghost or some other kind of undead monstrosity. No offense.
So do you know how we could find and kill him?
Likely,
Let's open up the portal again and just scrounge around until he falls out.
I mean, no, I think that that's a bad idea. Like, I mean, Sazia totally willing to do the risk, but this guy is like super powerful beyond all means. He like killed a lot of people, and we already like. I mean, you said yourself you're not doing very well. Like, I just think that that's a bad idea. We should maybe get more powerful before we do that, and have some friends like Victorious Leap.
I suppose you could attempt to do something of that nature. However, there are. Well, we may have gotten lucky just now. There are all manner of far nastier things that inhabit that plane. And specifically, my knowledge of it, doing some brief research recently over at Candlekeep, I did learn that traveling there has the nasty habit of unleashing these creatures called Nightwalkers, which I have no interest in engaging with.
Yeah. So you were planning on killing Tasso.
Right.
What was your plan for that?
Not sure yet. Mostly I was curious to figure out exactly how the children were planning on bringing him back. And then, waiting around for them to do it and then stabbing him. Something like that.
I mean, I kind of have. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So would that be hastened by their collecting all of the artifacts? So if they line up all the Eagle's Garb stuff, lay it out on a big table, and then poof, here comes Tasso.
Probably, but I'd rather do it on my terms than theirs.
Yeah. So they've got some of the stuff, and you've got some of the stuff. Were you going to get the rest of the stuff from them and then lay them out on a big table and summon Tasso?
That would be a point of discussion after we had collected all the items.
Are there any more items just floating around in the wild?
I believe that the helm and the breastplate are unaccounted for.
I thought the children had the breastplate.
So the helmet only now.
And well, we have a good lead on the helmet.
This is the one in the Shadowfell.
Yes.
So this remains the 2 items that you gave to the stone market. The 2 items in our possession, and 1 unaccounted for in the Shadowfell, 1 in your possession, and 1 with the children. But I'm sure we'll be consolidating very soon.
I mean, Rogart, you're kind of scaring me with your whole like wanting to gather all the artifacts and lay them out, and it makes me think that you actually intend to resurrect Testoacina, which is something I'm kind of against. Like this whole, building bridges of trust, like you're not doing that.
Well, I suppose scurrying them away somewhere is the other option. But it would remain that they would never be destroyed, and that someone in 1,000 years could come along and finish the job.
Is there a way that we could just kill Tasso while he's in the plane of death?
I could kill you and send you there, but that doesn't sound like a smart idea.
Yeah, I was going to say the only way for us to get to the plane of death and not be dead is to be dead.
I mean, I'm not totally against Daydark's idea of casting Gate, having him come through, and then we kill him. Because if we resurrect him, if he gets resurrected, I mean, he's likely not going to be undead, right? I'm thinking that the children would want him in his true form and not his undead form. Although his undead form might be more powerful. Who knows? But, just, if we prepare properly, stand outside the gate, have the gate cast spell, have him come through, close the gate up, and kill him. Right? That's not terrible as long as we're prepared.
Right, prepared maybe with a Ghostbuster style vacuum cleaner to suck them up into it. Yes.
I didn't know half of those words.
Well, I was thinking more just like, we get stronger, right? We learn a couple more spells, maybe get Victoria's Leap. They're really strong. Maybe some other people who are totally against Tasso Asina and, have a confined space where we can all just, jump him.
Yeah, worth a shot, I suppose.
I like that better.
I like the vacuum cleaner idea.
Yeah, and I don't know what that is. As you guys are having this conversation, Sazia floats out the window and onto the balcony, looking over the mid-morning sun.
You said you were going to stay here.
I think it's fine if she wants to see outside. I mean, she's been cold and dead for a long time. She's just over there. I can see her. She's
And
fine.
she probably hasn't seen the sun since we left Luskin.
I'd like to go out and kind of stand by her quietly.
As you stand next to her, she's kind of... I wish I could feel its warmth.
I promise I'm going to do everything I can to get you there.
Warmth, radiance. Hey, Lucan, you can cast some radiance stuff.
I don't think that's a good imitation for the sun.
But you can look up at it, imagine its warmth, and you can provide the warmth.
She kind of, over just to you, Mabina. Does that insufferable fellow ever shut up? Suppose not.
And we'll be elsewhere. And there's all kinds of servants. They can bring you anything you want. Anything you can pretty much imagine. It's pretty cool. You want to try it? Here, watch. Baklava, please.
Nothing happens.
It takes a little while sometimes. Oh, expect.
Rogar kind of to the rest of you. I'll discuss some of this with the Lord, and we'll see what he wants to do.
Shall we meet you for dinner later in the day?
Sure. Just after dusk, I believe it will be served. Typically is around that time. Sometimes I forget.
So is that dinner or breakfast?
Clever of you. Dinner.
We can rest for a brief period of time, Daydark, and then just wait until after dinner and go to sleep.
What do y'all want to do next?
Say again?
What do y'all want to do next?
Well, we can just sit around here, maybe help out. But we can't leave until tomorrow morning. Quinlan's tired.
We could go check on the villagers, make sure they're okay. I mean, they seem like they fared pretty well, but we kind of left in a hurry. We could make sure that, they're all right and they're sick and feeble are good.
That's actually a good idea. Their village was burned down, so we can help them rebuild it. We don't have really anything better to do while we're waiting for dinner. Mabina, if you want, you can just stay up here and talk to Sazia, catch up.
I can do that.
All right. So the rest of you are heading down to Arthpen, and Mabina, you are staying with Sazia?
Yep.
Alright. She asks you where you've been since you left, and listens to you patiently as you describe all the things that you've been up to. The rest of you, as you leave the castle, walking past your freshly created stone wall, plugging the previously collapsed section, heading back out, you find that it's somewhat cleaned up. The blood has been absorbed into the dirt. It has not rained since, so it's still kind of leaving these dark brown stains everywhere. A number of crows on the parapets are kind of cawing down at you as you pass. But you guys are able to head down to the village of Arthpen. And when you arrive, you hear very distinct sounds of hammering and woodcutting and sawing. And as you approach, you see a number of the villagers, sleeves rolled up, sweat rolling off their brows as they're taking down some of the other homes and putting up fresh logs. And as you look over, just as you arrive, you see a rather large grizzly bear with its teeth pulling a freshly hewn tree out of the woods towards the group of them. And it's this massive 50-foot tall pine.
Does the bear look anything like the bear that was messing with our bubble?
I mean, similar. The bear's a bear. This one's more of a black-gray color. And one of them turns towards you, and you see that it is, in fact, Ivan Sablecrest. He kind of calls out, "Ah, friends, welcome. What brings you down to our village?"
We wanted to help you rebuild.
That is quite funny of you. And he kind of gives you a very hearty, slap on the shoulder with his big, strong arm. And but I'm afraid we have it quite covered. The bear kind of drops the tree with a loud thud, kind of looking over at the rest of you, and then it kind of slinks off into the woods.
You sure we got 4 extra set of hands?
I suppose, let's see, what's something that little folk could help with?
What about your sick and those who are injured? Do any of them need help?
Most of them are healing up quite well. We do that pretty quickly. The elderly, we've already built 2 homes, and they're tucked away in them, and he kind of gestures over to one side, and you can see one of the spots kind of over by where you guys fought the Shadow Hounds, and you can see that there's almost a brand new house that's been assembled there. I'm afraid we don't have anything to give to the rest of you. No food or anything of that sort. Unfortunately, most of it is gone. We'll have to get through the season on meat almost exclusively, which is fine for us.
Do you have any crops?
Not really at this point of the season. Our stores were burned down, I'm afraid.
Well, if you have the land, Quinlan and I could help you get a harvest real quick.
I'm getting the sense that these aren't really crop sorts of people.
We eat some crops, not many. Bread is nice.
Mm-hmm. Honey?
Not really a crop, but yes.
But that's something that you enjoy.
Indeed, we have an apiary on the other side that was untouched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I would expect. Yep. So how much of this village is for show, and how much do you really use?
All of it. Why would we sleep outside?
Indeed.
What, do you think just because we are bears sometimes that we prefer to sleep outdoors? It is much more comfortable in a bed.
Oh, of course, of course.
Not too hard, not too soft, that sort of thing.
And the porridge?
Not too bad.
I really do apologize for interrupting this exchange, but if you do have an area where you grow crops, we can help you out.
Just that way. Haldis is the one who's in charge of it. She's been working with her son and the guest Ludek. They were the ones doing most of the farming. That direction.
All right, I'll walk off. Daedar, be nice. And I'll whisper to him as I'm leaving, you saw what they did to those people.
Yeah.
Alright, what are the rest of you guys doing?
I think Bethany would still want to check on some of the more elderly and those that were injured just to make sure they're all right.
Alright. So you head over to the house and you find that there are a few rather older looking folk, the villagers, kind of asleep in beds and chairs. They don't really seem ill or anything, just old.
Is there anywhere where the injured are, or do they just everyone looks to be perfectly healed?
Everyone looks pretty much all healed up. You see a couple guys with like pink cuts on them, but no one is, damaged.
Yeah, I guess there's no one that needs help. She might just kind of walk around, talk to people, make sure they're all right, ask if they need anything, that kind of thing.
All right. And Luke and Quinlan, what are you guys doing?
I would like to do the 8-hour casting to enrich their fields.
All right. And Quinlan, are you also casting plant growth?
The 8-hour option.
Got it. All right. Well, the spell doesn't like cause plants to grow, immediately or anything like that. But the seeds that have been planted definitely will grow to be quite sizable. The trees around the village grow thicker. Is there anything else you guys would like to do during this day?
I think I'm good.
Nope.
All right. So you guys wrap up back at the village and head back to the keep and find Sazia and Babina waiting for you guys just inside the Great Hall in the dining hall. Two of them waiting there.
Does Sazia look any happier?
She's just kind of floating around. She seems, kind of sad still, but otherwise she's not upset anymore. As you guys enter the hall, looking down at the far end, kind of striding out of the catacombs, you see in his formal dress, having doffed his armor, one Kadeen Valorum approaching as the sun is setting.
We only saw him in his armor during the attack, right? Like he doesn't
Correct.
normally wear it.
No.
Why are you in your armor? Do you expect to be attacked again?
No, he's
He's
not.
in
He's
formal clothes.
Oh,
not in
formal
armor.
clothes. Oh, sorry, I misheard.
He doffed his armor. Yeah, he's in like a purple dress gown of sorts, like purple and black. You have returned. What brings you back to my keep?
So we made a deal with Rogar to bring the helmet.
Excellent. And what was promised in return?
And I'll point to the ghost.
Curious. What was that?
Room and board.
That is always guaranteed to you.
I'm in for my friend here.
Very well. She may stay as well, although I don't know how much board she requires.
When we eventually get her back into her human form, she'll probably eat a lot.
I don't know anyone here who can assist with that.
Future project.
Understood. He gestures to the feast that has been set out in front of you, and he says, please eat, my friends. And he kind of walks over to the far side at the head of the table and takes a seat.
So Bethany's gonna sit next to him and just be like, I would love to hear more about your relationship with Tasso Asina.
We were acquaintances many, many, many years ago. What else would you like to know?
You plan to resurrect him?
If that's what it takes to kill him, then yes.
What caused the bad blood between you? I know you had different views about the spell and the keep, but was that it?
Initially, I was able to keep him in check years prior to what you saw. But with the influence of Razolobura, he drifted away from me, became more violent, less forgiving. And eventually it was too much for me, and I left.
So if, say, what was his name, Bora was to be resurrected, that'd be a really bad thing, right?
This would be very dangerous. He and Rogar would probably be rather equivalent.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Davin, and I think the children want him as well.
This would make sense. In their plans to restore the original plane, he is likely one of the only ones who is capable of undoing what he did. Did he elaborate further?
No, unfortunately, he was kind of a tool and not really given privy to a lot of information. I was actually going to ask you if you knew how they might try to resurrect him.
He has been dead for some time. I'm not sure why. I think learning of what happened to this one, and he kind of gestures at the Sazia, it might elucidate further.
That's actually our next stop.
Good choice.
You gonna go fuck up some pirates?
Yeah.
Y'all gonna be good with saying you're dead?
Say again.
Y'all gonna be good with saying you're dead?
I plan to kill him. And she says that just like deadpan.
Well, alright.
Well, Bethany, I don't think we have to kill him. We could just ask him to surrender, and if we can get the pirates to surrender and stand trial, then it'll be all the easier.
You're too nice, Lucan. He's gonna die.
And under what jurisdiction do you think he might stand trial?
Well, I imagine the Lord's Alliance, whose boat we're probably going to ride into battle, they would probably arrest him.
My understanding of what the Lord's Alliance has planned is that the pirates are to be put to the sword when caught.
Oh,
See, Lucan, everyone agrees they should die.
Based on my last interactions with some of the members, the orders given were that they had had enough.
Sometimes you just can't bring people, or people are not redeemable. Now, I always want to give them second chances, but Dad had like 50 and he still decided to be a scumbag.
maybe he's changed.
It's possible, with many years. As you guys are sitting there, Rogar comes striding in with his staff and a little bat and sits down at the far end of the table and starts eating some chicken and grapes and other things, feeding little bits of it to the bat.
So how's Victory's Leap doing on their mission?
Oh, pretty good actually. Probably should be coming back fairly soon, I think. They're getting quite powerful these days.
What was their mission?
And he kind of looks at Kadeen, and Kadeen just stares at him. They were getting some stuff for me.
Okay.
So, Lord Varon, what's your like life plan? Do you have one?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I realize that you're very, very old, but you know, what are your goals, your life aspirations, that kind of stuff?
You're asking me if I want to kill myself.
No, no, I'm asking you what plans do you have? I personally want to help Sazia, and she kind of points at the ghost, not be a ghost. I want to help the world be a better place. I want to get rid of the Luskan pirates, and especially my father. And in general, I want to do good. What's your goals?
Live here in peace and quiet. I did that successfully for a millennia, and I intend to do it again when this is all over. Does that answer your question?
I mean, I think it does, but I think maybe you should think about, doing good. It makes you feel good when you do good things.
I welcome you into my home. I have made friends. They have gone out to do good. Is that not enough for me to assist others? I cannot stray very far from this place.
I'm just saying you come across just a little suspect, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Lucan will kind of give Bethany the symbol to be nice.
She is being
To try and convince other people to be nice.
Well,
Must
that's
be
one of my goals.
Yeah, we have to start wrapping up.
Alright, so, as you guys finish up your meal, the two patrons of yours depart, heading back to their respective hidey holes. Lord Valorum goes up to his study to read books and look out over the forest below the keep. And Rogar returns to his study as well to do magical things. Sazia goes with Mabina back to your room and kind of floats there, glowing in the dark, watching you sleep.
But comforting.
In like a friendly ghost way, like a Casper.
That's good. Can I have Bushy, kind of hang out as well?
Bushy's is just staring right at the ghost, like on the bed with you, like looking over you, just like at the ghost, just watching her.
Yeah, alright. I should get some really great rest this way.
Alright. Anything else the rest of you guys want to do before taking the long rest?
I'm good.
Nope.
Alright. Well, hope you guys had fun. We'll pick up with the morning the next bit after you guys finish a long rest.
Chris, Emily, will you be able to play